Kong, the king of Skull Island, the eighth wonder of the world, and Godzilla's opponent. Many fans have debated over who will win in the epic clash between the King of the Monsters and the King of Skull Island, but few have debated what will happen after. In this video, I will look at what it would be like if Kong defeated Godzilla, and why that would be a bad thing for Kong and for the rest of the world. Number 1. Rivalry. Godzilla is a king with few rivals, since all but a few of the Titans seem to have pledged allegiance to him after defeating King Ghidorah, but I doubt it would be that easy for Kong. Kong is younger than Godzilla by many years. Also, he has been secluded on a small island all of his life, so the Titans are not as familiar with him or his strength, and also they might view him as an outsider. This would lead to more rivalry, especially from Rodan, who we already saw challenge in Alpha, even though he was 4 times his size. Rodan would definitely make a grab for the throne, which would be easier for him than for other Titans, because Kong has a weakness to fire, Rodan's element. Kong would have a hard time even grabbing Rodan due to how quick he is, and how it would burn Kong. I believe that if Kong were to lose to anyone, it would be to Rodan. We have already seen that Rodan is hostile to humanity and to other Titans, so him as Alpha would be one of the worst outcomes that could happen. Number 2. Kong would not choose to be king. If Kong kills Godzilla, I doubt he would even try to fill his role, instead opting to return back to Skull Island to resume his role as protector there. This would leave a void in leadership, and a power rush would ensue. This struggle would be widespread, causing mass devastation. Number 3. Kong could not operate as king without leaving Skull Island. Kong could not operate as king without leaving Skull Island forever. The storms surrounding the island would make Kong going back and forth from the outside world to deal with problems there, then back to Skull Island to deal with problems there, a big problem. If Kong were to assume the mantle, which in all probability he would not, then skull crawlers would be allowed to run rampant throughout Skull Island, and it is most likely that at least a few of them would be able to breach the storm wall. If Skull Island were to be left unchecked, the skull crawlers would grow to massive sizes, perhaps even bigger than the big one from Kong Skull Island 2017. If that were to happen, then the world would soon be flooded by giant, bloodthirsty skull crawlers. The ecosystem would be devastated, creating mass devastation. Skull crawlers would penetrate the massive cities, the smaller ones scattering all throughout the megacities and avoiding detection like vermin, or Zilla from the 1998 movie. Many places they would have to evacuate, displacing thousands, if not millions, of people, and they would still not be safe. If Kong were to leave Skull Island, it would create a dystopian future where humans live in fear from massive killers. If Kong does not leave Skull Island, it creates another dystopian where Rodan, or a Muto, or some other unfriendly, ultra-powerful Titan becomes king of the monsters. Then the Titans would be left in the hands of a tyrannical king of the monsters. Number 4. Kong could die. As I mentioned earlier, being king of the monsters invites rivalry. Often this rivalry can result in death. If Kong dies, Skull Island will be left without a defender, and the skull crawlers would grow to massive sizes and escape like mentioned before. But not only that, this new king of the monsters, probably Rodan if anyone, would most likely not be friendly towards humanity, and would try to exterminate it. I doubt that humanity could survive both the skull crawlers and the wrath of the Titan King. The Iwi tribe from Skull Island would certainly die, yet there is even one more possibility that would make Kong's rise to the throne a bane to the earth. Number 5. King Ghidorah's return. As we saw in King of the Monsters' post-credit scene, Alan Jonah, an eco-terrorist, purchased Ghidorah's severed head that he lost in his second battle with Godzilla. As we have already seen, Ghidorah has regenerative capabilities. If these regenerative capabilities are anything like that of a starfish, then Ghidorah will be able to regrow from his severed head. Godzilla and Ghidorah's rivalry was ancient and unique, and with Godzilla not being there to fend off Ghidorah, it is a strong chance that Ghidorah would ascend to the throne, possibly aided by other Titans who would recognize him as king over Kong. If this happens, then Ghidorah's mega hurricanes would tear the ecosystem apart, and humanity would perish by the hands of the Titans, and most likely, the world would be Ghidorah's last victim on this planet. But if Godzilla lives, none of this happens. Godzilla is a strong and feared king, whom most titans, except for the bravest, would not challenge. Kong would not have to assume the mantle of King of the Monsters, leaving Skull Island in the safe hands of its protector, and Kong would provide vigilant guard against the ever-growing threat of the Skullcrawlers. In the end, Godzilla and Kong create a balance, and if this balance were to be destroyed, then the world would face complete annihilation. If you liked this video, then please click that like button, comment, and subscribe.